This is Shy,
And this is Megan,
and this is the Magical Happy Hour.
a podcast where we share our love for Disney, theme parks, travel tips, food.
And anything else we feel like talking about.
In this episode, we're going to be talking all things Rapunzel, also known as Tangled, but Rapunzel.
Yeah, we're gonna go into some of the Grimm history and, of course, talk about our girl Rapunzel in one of both of our favorite Disney films of all time, Tangled.
When you said grim history, I was like, oh no, what happened? But I got you. Grim fairy tale. Gotcha.
Yes. It is a little grim.
Oh.
So just a heads up.
I don't know anything about this story, so I am excited. But yeah, of course, some news.
Hey guys,
We're back.
it's been quite a while since we have recorded.
Yeah, as you may notice, this episode is recorded in two different parts. We were interrupted mid-recording during the original time that we had recorded most of this episode. About 80% of it was recorded about 2-3 months ago now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But we are back in business and here to complete this episode. So there may be a little bit of weirdness here and there, like if you hear us referring to something that would be relevant maybe 3 months ago. It's safe to assume that that is just an older part of the episode, and things have changed and progressed since then.
Right.
But we want to bring you still like the most relevant news. So we're going to start with that here and then brought back to the us from the past to walk you through most of this beautiful episode. And then we from the current time will meet you at the end.
Yeah.
Things happen. Our recording equipment was weird. And then Shy had all these beautiful trips with her wonderful friends planned. And I think we both got sick at one time. And
Or
I was
multiple
moving.
times.
Or multiple times. Yeah, probably in your case, multiple times. I mean,
we are super happy to be back. I am super excited to be recording with Megan. We also, just a little sneak peek to the end, we have a new scale test that we're bringing to you guys. We have been talking about doing this for months. So we have finally come to an agreement on how we wanted the scale to look. And we are really excited to present that to you guys. So stay tuned, keep listening, and we're going to jump into some more relevant news.
Yes. So just to kick us off strong, Destination D23 did happen while we were on a little hiatus back at the end of August. So if you were able to catch those updates, a lot of villain speak recently. Clearly, Disney is, feeding into our villain fever because not only did they announce the Villains Land during, regular D23 last year, but also instances of it occurring on Disney Cruise Lines, a new show at the Disney World Resort. But they did have a couple updates of the upcoming Villains Land in Disney's Magic Kingdom. However, I don't think nearly enough information. I think we're all itching for a little bit more than we got, but hopefully a little bit more drops as they continue to develop that land. And of course, D23, the full expo, will be happening next year. And so I'm sure there will be a big announcement at that time. It seems like they're just giving us little drops here and there to continue to pique our interest until then. But we also got Move Me announcements, as well as some more news about the Walt animatronic that came to Disneyland. Apparently, Disney World is going to be getting their own. He will be included into the Carousel of Progress. Where do you think, Shy? What was your knee-jerk reaction? I know that you love the Carousel of Progress. I remember you being so excited to do it when we went to Disney World, but also now that you've done it, how do you think that this will be integrated into that?
I am really looking forward to seeing Walt in the Carousel of Progress. I am curious though, like if he's gonna be replacing the dad in scene. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, because I guess that would make the most sense if they were to replace him, but that would be weird because it would change,
It
like
would change the storyline, right? A little
change the
bit.
story and would, like, shoehorn Walt into a story that's not his own. But I see where your head is at. You're like, "Ho but, I mean, he doesn't really make sense anywhere at this point." So I'm curious what other changes would have to be made.
I actually we recently went on a trip to Disneyland together and we finally got to experience the
Mhm.
um, Walt Disney animatronic in person. And I actually really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to, just based off of what people had said and based off of pictures. I like wasn't super feeling the animatronic, but I did enjoy it a lot more in person. I just thought that we didn't get like enough time with the actual animatronic. And the show is pretty long. It's like at least 15-20 minutes, right?
The show was long for the amount of time that we got an animatronic. 1,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
Like I want to say there's like 10 minutes of like video and like 5 minutes with the animatronic, if that.
Yeah, it was interesting because I would have thought if anything, maybe the video just behind him and he's just still or moving minimally.
But like doing the narration that we're seeing him do in the video, right?
Mhm. Exactly. Or yeah, just more of the animatronic. It was surprising.
But maybe that's something that will change down the line. Probably not for a long time, but maybe we'll get a longer show of him somewhere down the line.
Yeah, especially considering how he will be utilized in the carousel progress, like maybe there will be room for like further development or expansion.
What were your thoughts?
I liked it. I felt the same way. Like I was kind of sitting there like, Why am I watching a video for so long? I came here to see Walt, the animatronic."
Right.
I kind of wish they would have maybe like bookended it with him, like maybe started it off and then gone to the video and then had him end it like an introduction, a middle, and then like a closing. I thought it was interesting. I don't remember the Lincoln show enough to compare them.
Hmm. I've
I
never
mean, I've
seen it.
seen it. I That is incredible to me. I mean, I've seen it. It's just been some time. It's like one of those like every 5 years I'll watch it type of things. Or like if I'm there with somebody who loves it, which I think was only my grandmother, who I only went to Disneyland with once, so I don't know. But I know there's more to it than just the one animatronic, so uh, but it is also there's the long video at the beginning. Was interesting, but I was happy for it. Happy for it? Happy about it. I
I
think it
really
looked really
like
nice.
the showroom
Yeah,
before.
that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, the showroom sells it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Getting to see different artifacts and little animatronics was really cool.
Yeah. Had you ever been in there before? The Opera House, for all of those that don't know what we're referring to. This is like the Opera House that's on the right-hand side when you first enter Disneyland Park.
Yes, I
Mhm.
have been in there before. I don't know if I've been in that back room. I've
Okay.
been like in the room that's like to the right of where the bench is when you walk in.
Mhm.
But I feel like that room isn't always open, that back room.
It has been every time I've gone in there, but I also haven't been in there that many times. Usually when I have, it's they had a really fun display of a bunch of artwork and like original figurines, like 3D figures from when they were trying to construct the Haunted Mansion.
Mm.
This was the same year that Muppets Haunted Mansion came out.
I was gonna say, I don't remember if I went in there. I remember them doing something for the Muppets Haunted Mansion, but I can't remember if I visited.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it was all just Haunted Mansion, except they had the Muppets Haunted Mansion playing in there. So there's like that little TV and like few like benches that you can sit at.
Mhm.
But usually in that back room, there's just a big diorama.
Mm.
Yeah. of, I believe, the Capitol building. Either that or it's of the Lincoln Memorial, but I'm pretty sure it's of like the Capitol building,
What
um,
Capitol building?
the United States Capitol building. I could also be incredibly incorrect because it's been a long time, but I'm pretty sure that's what is usually in that center area. So, original animatronics, like from the Tiki Room, would fully vote for that instead.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
was very cool. Worth seeing if you're going to the park sometime soon, or even hopefully they keep it.
Yes.
And we will see you in a bit. So, as some of you longtime listeners, frequent listeners may remember, I've been trying to go over to downtown Disney. I know I kind of started this before I had a pass again, but go over there and try more places out. Downtown Disney is rapidly expanding, and some places are getting updates, some are getting thrown out and changed altogether. So there's lots to see, especially between all the events that Disney holds and that then expand into downtown Disney. I had the very nice time of visiting the Parkside Market, like the whole building, not just, I believe Parkside Market is just the top floor, but I got to try one of their food locations and have a cocktail upstairs as well. Just about a month ago in June, I met a friend over there and we got, sorry, I'm going to forget the name of the
I'm
places
like,
every single time.
I'm like hanging on. I need to know where you went.
Like, spit it out. Okay, so we decided that we were gonna. So you wait in this for anyone who hasn't been there. When you enter, you are on the bottom floor and you can visit Sip and Sonder, which is essentially a coffee bar. There's also Soul Sister, who has Korean bowls. So there's assortment of meats and some vegetables. And there's also Gigi's Chicken Shop. I got some food. I believe we both got some food from Gigi's Chicken Shop. I got the sweet chili fried chicken, and the friend I was with just got the original. Oh no, I'm
I'm
sorry.
really surprised that that's where you went.
I was craving fried chicken.
Megan is not a big chicken eater. Like, she will almost never pick chicken.
Yeah. It's usually not when I pick, but when I get a craving for it, like I did earlier this week as well, oh, I am like immediately, I need to get my hands on it immediately. And that's just how I was feeling that day. I didn't have breakfast before I went. My friend and I's timing was kind of off. We also had to wait for people to enter the park just for other reasons. And so we were just literally hanging out in downtown Disney, which was great. Especially because she's wonderful. She's so willing to like try whatever with me when I come up with schemes like let's go essentially like bar hopping in downtown Disney and then continue our party into the park. It was very fun. I'm sorry. She did not get the classic sandwich. She got the chicken strips and fries. My sandwich was delicious. It is big. So I
Sounds
got
good.
about like three-fourths of the way through and I was like, okay, I'm tapped out. Like that was a delicious sandwich, but like I am done. Messy, like these bad boys are saucy. Worth the money, I'd say. Like it's a good portion. But we sat upstairs in the Vista Parkside Market, which is like it's bar service. You can order from up there any of the dining locations. We didn't know that going in. We just walked in downstairs, ordered our food, and then walked upstairs. But they do have QR codes at the table
Hmm.
and they're able to locate you throughout the facility, which I know that we had talked about when they first opened.
Hmm.
I wish I could say what cocktail I got. I don't think it's on their menu anymore. I think they've changed it since. But my friend did get it's still on their menu. It's called the Nightfall, which it's a reposado, tequila, milk, and then the Sip and Sonder cold brew. So it's like a tequila, espresso martini, but with cold brew.
Okay. Sounds yummy.
Yeah. I don't think either of us like reposado tequila very much because she wasn't a huge fan of it.
Okay.
She was
Okay.
like, this is so smoky. And I tried it and I was like, okay, that's definitely the reposado. Not that it's necessarily smoky, but it's a different flavor than just like a Blanco tequila.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I think the Sip and Sonder cold brew is just like very roasty. It just maybe wasn't what she was expecting it to be, which is fair. I got some sort of gin and mint cocktail. I know it was green. I don't remember what was in it, but I do remember really liking it.
Maybe they'll bring it back one day.
Maybe. Yeah, there's no gin cocktails on their menu right now, so I am curious what it was, but I didn't take a picture of their menu for some reason, and I'm pretty sure she told me to. She's pretty on top of it. After that, we are kind of like, okay, what are we going to do now? Should we go here? Should we go there? And she actually told me about Earl of Sandwich Tavern, which I didn't even know existed.
You didn't know it existed?
No, I knew Earl of Sandwich was there, but I didn't know that they had like
A
this
bar?
like yeah, the bar area like built out like separate from the restaurant area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Of course you can still get food there, but it was nice. Little small, excuse me, little small area. This I did take a picture of the cocktail menu. My friend got her name is Shantae, by the way. She's great. She got a hibiscus margarita and I got a beer.
In
Because
typical Megan fashion.
of course. Because why would I get something else? Honestly, yeah, I'm a one cocktail and then beer
Yeah.
person. On this day, I will say, going there on a hot day, maybe not the move.
Okay.
Of course, like we're getting a new Earl of Sandwich, right? They're
Yes.
building a whole new building.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like probably won't be the case for long, but it was hot
Mm,
in that little bar area. I don't know what was going on. I think it's just because it's open air and maybe they don't have the best circulation and maybe they don't turn on the AC because it's just open. Like they have two doors just open the whole time and it's is a really small area, but not ideal. It was also we were there at like 3:30 in the afternoon in June. It's just a hot time of day during a hot time of year.
yeah.
But that kind of summarizes what my most recent downtown Disney experience has looked like. It is really sad to see Tortilla Joe's just completely leveled.
Oh, I have not had to see that yet.
Yeah, she gone.
That's quite sad.
Yeah, I shouldn't say completely leveled, but I think it actually might have been by then. At one point when I went, it was just a skeleton,
Mm,
and that hurt
that is hurtful. Yeah, I am still very sad. That was like my favorite place in downtown Disney. So,
easily the go-to. I love the Jazz Kitchen. Just the price differential between those two
yeah.
is quite a bit.
Yeah, and it's not like it's being replaced with something else that's like more affordable.
No, of course not,
So,
but
it's a
upsetting.
bummer.
Mhm. Jazz Kitchen is still my fave.
Jazz Kitchen's really good.
hmm
And so is I like the food at I've never had anything I didn't like at what the place that has bowling, Splitsville?
Splitsville. I was gonna say Splitsville is like my second go-to.
I've only been there 2 or 3 times, but it's good.
I've probably been there upwards of 6 times,
Mm,
and it's been pretty good every time I've gone. Kind of weird service here and there, but I think that's just because it's like they have like that alley area, then they have like a bar area, but then they also have the gameplay, but then they also just have general dining. I think it's just like not great communication between each of the areas, but it's like never been an actual issue. And they have live music in that alley area that you can hear from the inside dining portion and at the bar, which is really cool. I feel like downtown Disney, we've talked about it before, has really picked up their live entertainment, whereas inside the parks has gradually been dropping it off.
all right, are we ready to tackle this episode? I'm super excited.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's time.
So, Megan, I think that you should really recap Tangled for us. Take us back to the movie. I did just recently watch it. Um, let's talk about it.
The way I love this movie, you guys, uh, I was planning on watching it before, like just this week before we recorded, but I also just watched it recently. It's just been a few months, but I've probably seen this movie 40 times throughout my life, like without exaggeration. I used to watch it constantly because I didn't have the soundtrack downloaded on my phone, which now I do, but I will happily take us back through it. To start us off, we see Mother Gothel, who's voiced by Donna Murphy, utilize a chant to use a magic flower she keeps hidden to become more youthful. There's not a lot of information given about this flower, how it was found by Gothel, but we first see it used here. This flower was then used to save the Queen of Corona during childbirth, resulting in Rapunzel, voiced by Mandy Moore, having golden hair that holds the flower's magic within it. Rapunzel is then kidnapped by Mother Gothel, who wants to use the magic in her hair to keep herself young forever. Gothel locks Rapunzel in a hidden tower in the forest and raises her in isolation, pretending to be her mother. On the eve of Rapunzel's 18th birthday is when we first meet her, singing all about what she's been able to keep herself busy with while she's been in this tower for all that time. What she's most curious about, however, is the lights that she sees released each year and dreams about seeing them up close, for herself. What she doesn't know is these lanterns are released in honor of the lost princess from the kingdom just beyond the forest.
Which is her.
We don't know that yet. She don't
Oh.
know that. Or maybe we know that, I guess, but she don't know that. She really does show up right away just looking like a princess. We're like, girl, look at yourself. You're not a princess. We also meet Pascal, who's Rapunzel's like silly little chameleon sidekick. He's like sassy too. He's real cute.
He is so cute.
I have a little Pascal myself that I'd probably wear to the parks more often if he didn't like insist on falling off me, and I don't want to lose him.
Yeah. We can tie him to your straps one day.
Okay, deal. So after that, we then hear Mother Gothel calling down to Rapunzel with the iconic line, "Let down your hair." Rapunzel is hopeful when asking Mother Gothel to take her to see the lights, but Gothel just chimes in with denying her the ability to do so, with many examples of just really poo-pooing on Rapunzel, like as able enough, like as a person to even get there.
Yeah, she's like, you can't handle it.
No. And she's like, it's too dangerous. Like, and are you kidding me? Like, look at yourself. Like, you're dumb. You can't. Like, what do you know? Like, I'm sorry I don't know things. I've been in a tower for almost 18 years. And then she's like, I'm sorry, is like, and you're getting kind of chubby. Like, okay, toxic. Like, that doesn't make me unable to leave a tower. Also, she may be the thinnest princess that we have an example of.
So funny. Like, honestly, the mommy issues.
Dude, the mommy problem.
The mommy
The
problem.
issue that is a mommy.
Yes.
A fake mommy. But, she is defensive and claims it's out of her safety. Like, ruffians, thugs, poison ivy, quicksand. You want to go out in that world? You can't. Like, why would you want to be in all that? As she's like out in it every single day of her life unscathed.
Don't be a dummy.
Stick with mummy. Oh my God. It really makes me curious. Like, does she know that Mother Gothel's like a witch?
I don't know.
Yeah. We really don't get that much about their history and like what they've been through.
Like their relationship, yeah.
Yeah. It makes me just, I'm like thinking of that because she is coming back. Anyway, we'll get there. She's coming back to her like unmarked.
Right.
And she's telling her everything is so dangerous for 18 years. Mother Gothel, like I said, leaves Rapunzel alone in the tower again. And then here enters Flynn Rider. We first meet him escaping from Maximus, a determined and comically noble horse, along with other palace guards. He's not alone in his pursuit, but he does seem the most, focused.
Yeah.
But Flynn's running away with the Stabbington twin brothers, who he's working alongside of to steal a tiara from the castle until he then ditches them. Flynn climbs the tower looking for an escape when he's then struck by Rapunzel with a frying pan. She seizes her moment to then hide the crown. When he wakes up, she makes a deal with him that she will return the crown once she is taken to see the lights. He agrees and they set off. We see Rapunzel in overwhelming joy, contrasted by distressing, guilty anguish over leaving the castle against Gothel's commands. However, her joy propels her forward. Flynn, who I didn't mention, but is voiced by Zachary Levi, he is a trickster and takes her to the Snuggly Duckling, which, even though it sounds, really soft, it is a place that he thinks is full of ruffians and thugs that she's in fear of because of what Mother Gothel has told her. So he thinks that this will convince her to go back to the tower, like being the best option, and then he's let off the hook and he can just take the crown and go. Rapunzel proves him wrong by sharing her dreams with this group of men. Like, I think, typically we'd expect there to be also women in the bar, but this is just a group of, scary looking men who they also then chime in and, want to tell her about their dreams. They encourage her, and her fears are reduced to basically nothing about the mission. And they're just enjoying their time until palace guards show up, and because they're still in pursuit of Flynn. Rapunzel and Flynn escape, leading to this whole chase sequence in which it is then uncovered that Rapunzel has magic hair. And after this, Maximus kind of joins their little crew. As Rapunzel and Flynn spend more time together, they begin to fall in love. Flynn opens up about his past as an orphan and why he created the persona of Flynn Rider. His real name being Eugene Fitzherbert.
So funny.
I love both of his names. I'm like, neither of these are bad. Both of these are actually precious.
That's a hot take.
I don't feel a lot of things for names, unless it's like...
Just think about it from a child's perspective. They're going to think that's so weird. Eugene Fitzherbert? Like, that's a freaking weird name.
Yeah, okay, 2010. I was 14.
Yeah.
I was either in 8th grade or a freshman in high school, depending on what time of year it came out.
You were a freshman in high school. It came out in November.
All right. I remember hearing it and being like, wow, that would be a name that I would laugh at. But... 40, I'm just like, okay, they're trying to like be funny with a name.
Yeah.
But no, you're 100% correct. If I was like 7, clearly Rapunzel didn't think anything of it either. She wants to call him that.
Oh, Eugene.
Clearly Rapunzel was not repelled by that because gradually she continues to gain confidence.
Well, and also, how many names does she know?
Good point. She's well read, though. She's had books.
She is well read, yes.
She doesn't have she's been in a tower. She's happy to be exposed to anyone.
Definitely.
Especially to a man that was then nice after she beat him.
Sometimes you gotta knock some sense into these guys. Rapunzel knew that.
She may have just absolutely done that. Just brain injured this man and it worked out. So after all that, Rapunzel gradually continues to gain confidence. She dances, paints, and then bonds with the citizens of the kingdom, which it kind of seems like she starts to like suspect the truth of her identity, but it's kind of unclear. Like she seems to just like catch a vibe, right? Her and Flynn get to enjoy the lanterns. Such a gorgeous scene. Like I could sob.
Because she has sobbed while watching it.
Oh, I sobbed listening to the soundtrack. Just like Rapunzel and Flynn then get kind of discovered by Mother Gothel. Like Mother Gothel by this time has discovered Rapunzel's disappearance and plots to bring her back. She manipulates the situation by enlisting the Stabbington brothers, offering them revenge and treasure if they help to trap Flynn and convince Rapunzel that he's abandoned her. Rapunzel goes back to the tower with Gothel, but she begins to remember her royal heritage through symbols from the castle, like the sun emblem that she's unknowingly painted everywhere. Realizing she's the lost princess, she confronts Gothel. Flynn escapes prison with the help of Maximus and the Snuggly Duckling crew. He returns to the tower to save Rapunzel, but is fatally stabbed by Gothel. In a desperate attempt to save him, Rapunzel offers to go with Gothel forever if she lets her heal him. But Flynn cuts Rapunzel's hair, destroying its magic and rendering Gothel old and powerless. She literally turns to dust, just ages rapidly, is essentially defeated and disappears to dust. Rapunzel, grieving over Flynn's death, sheds some tears, but they hold the residual magic and bring him back to life. In the end, Rapunzel is reunited with her parents, the king and queen of Corona. The kingdom rejoices, and Flynn, now using his real name Eugene, and Rapunzel live happily ever after.
Yay!
Yay! Flynn does have some humorous narration at the end, but
Say it.
he says finally I said yes. And she's like, Eugene.
He's like, after years and years and years of asking, I finally said yes. Wow, thank you so much. I love that movie. And you mentioned all of the parts that I wanted you to mention that connect with the original story.
Ooh, okay, good. I was like,
Yeah.
I genuinely, from the original story, all I know is let down your hair and the prince climbing it, pretty much,
Right.
which doesn't happen in the, or it
You're
does
gonna hear about
happen,
it.
but only at the very end.
You're going to hear about it.
Okay.
Okay, so one thing that I found was interesting is that her name actually stems from a plant. I don't know if you know that.
Oh no, Rapunzel comes from a plant?
Yes, it's like this, and it's edible. It's like this green, yellow, or green purple looking plant. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting.
Like a vine or a flower?
It kind of looks so the green are like vines, and then it looks in some pictures there was like a purple flower.
Ooh, okay.
You'll have to look it up.
I will. Good to know.
The story starts off with a husband and a wife who desperately want a child. And one day, the wife is looking out her window into a beautiful garden. This garden is surrounded by a high wall that nobody ever climbed because they were afraid of the powerful sorceress it belonged to. So the wife is looking out the window into the garden and sees this beautiful Rapunzel plant. And she tells her husband, if I do not get some Rapunzel from the garden behind our house, I shall die. Unquote. Of course, her husband wants her to be happy, so he sneaks over to get some for her.
I know you said that it was a husband and a wife, but are they king and queen?
No mentions of a king or a queen.
Okay, fair. I was like, did I miss that?
They are not a king and queen, no.
Okay.
They're just a husband and wife.
Makes sense, because I was wondering why they're like, can I have some of that over there? And I'm like, why isn't it your king and queen?
Mm-mm.
But no, husband and wife.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Sorry to interrupt.
The sorceress catches him stealing and threatens him, but he cries to her that his wife was longing for the Rapunzel so badly she felt like she was going to die. She tells him that under one condition, he can have as much Rapunzel as he wants, as long as they give her their firstborn child, stating, quote, it will do well, and I will take care of it like a mother. In his fear, he agreed. So when the woman gave birth, the sorceress came to take her and named her Rapunzel. The story states that she, quote, became the most beautiful child under the sun, which is another connection to the movie.
Yeah, we're seeing the symbolism. We're connecting the dots.
At 12 years old, the sorceress puts her in a tower in a forest that had no doors and no stairways, just a small window at the very top. Whenever the sorceress wanted to enter, she would yell the famous Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. And Rapunzel would undo her braids and let down her long hair. And it mentions the braids, so another connection. Her hair was, quote, as fine as spun gold, and the sorceress would use it to climb up the tower. Years later, a king's son was riding in the forest when he heard a beautiful voice. When he followed it, he was led to the tower where he could see Rapunzel, but he couldn't figure out a way to get to her. Until one day, he sees the sorceress approach the tower and yell the chant. He watched as Rapunzel let down her hair and the sorceress climbed up. So he thought to himself, someday he would try it. So the next day, he actually decides to try this and it works. He climbs up her hair, and at first she's pretty freaked out, but he gets her to warm up to him and eventually asks if she'll take him as a husband. And she says yes. Well,
I have a lot of feelings right now.
more specifically, she says, quote, he would rather have me than would old Frau Gothel, which was the sorceress, was Frau Gothel.
Which just means like miss.
Does it?
I'm assuming because I'm pretty sure that this is Brothers Grimm are German fairy tales.
Yes.
And so like I'm assuming it's like Fraulein, which is like Ms.
I have no
like
idea.
A woman, just like to identify like a woman. I'm also probably butchering that pronunciation. It's like saying like Miss or Lady.
I was like,
something.
oh, what if that meant mother? Like, what if Frau meant mother? But I don't know. I didn't look it up. I should have.
It also could be that. No, because mother is like Mutter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then it probably is what you're thinking. That's where we get the name Gothel.
Okay. Well, Gothel is Gothel for sure, but it's like Miss Gothel or Lady Gothel, which I love that they kept that for the Disney fairy tale because I always wondered what that came from.
Right.
The original.
Now you know. Together, they came up with a plan to escape. Each day, the prince will bring her a strand of silk where she will tie together and make her own ladder so she can climb down. They probably would have gotten away with it, except she freaking gives it away. She asks Frau Gothel why she is so much heavier to pull up than the young prince, who shall be arriving at any moment.
Straight up snitches on herself. Okay, so this one is not as well read as our Rapunzel.
Correct. She snitches on herself.
Rough.
Gothel becomes so angry that she cuts off Rapunzel's beautiful hair and takes her into the wilderness, quote, where she suffered greatly. So that's where it gets a little grim. And it gets grimmer. So when the prince comes that night, Gothel decides to trick him by tying the hair to a hook and letting it down for him to climb up. She tells him how he will never see her again, and in such despair, he literally throws himself off of the tower. He doesn't die. He falls onto thorns that poke out his eyes.
No. That's cruel. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Thorns cushion his fall. No, I hate that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, what's coming for her? She's
He spends years blindly wandering the forest, sulking over his lost love. But he finally finds Rapunzel. And guess who else?
Gothel?
No.
Oh.
He finds Rapunzel along with the set of twins she gave birth to in the wilderness.
Oh. Interesting that part of the story was left out. How twins are made?
So Rapunzel, who is alone in the wilderness, knowing nothing about probably how she even got pregnant or how she's with children, and gives birth to not only one but two by herself and has managed to keep them alive. Crazy. I know.
That's the grimmest part.
But it's not all bad. When they embrace and both begin to cry, two of her tears fall into his eyes, healing them, and he can see just like before. So another connection to the movie.
Gotcha.
He takes her back to his kingdom where they are accepted and live out their happily ever after.
Wow. Okay, I love seeing where things are connected.
Yeah.
So when you said the part of him falling out of the tower,
Mhm.
I was like, okay, I do remember that, but I didn't remember the thorns.
Mhm.
And of course, not the healing or
Yeah.
the twins.
Or the
But
twins.
I love that they kept the twin aspect, but made them against her in the Disney version.
Oh, like
Stabbington.
the what?
They're called the Stabbington
Yeah.
boy, like twins, or
Yeah.
the Stabbington boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brothers Stabbington. That's wonderful storytelling on your part.
Thanks. It was fun. Um, do you actually want to tell us a little bit about the perception during the time period? How she would have been perceived?
So, how Rapunzel, like during the time period she would have existed in, it's well, the Disney version, it is kind of hard to pinpoint what time period she's actually in, but the creators of the film noted the 1780s. But also, there's some like argument to be made that they could have been in the 1830s or 40s, mostly because they're seen in the Anna's wedding in Frozen in the audience. But, considering it's a kid's fantasy film, it's like kind of vague. But I would imagine she would be seen as quite wild.
That's what I was thinking too. I bet that she was.
She kind of I don't know. We don't know as an audience how much time she spent alone. Like the only person clearly she's had contact with is Mother Gothel, unless there's some backstory that we're not privy to, like how Shai said that in the original fairy tale. I think you said that they moved into the tower, or she moved Rapunzel into the tower when she was like 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Disney movie tells us that she's been there her whole life because she's been watching the lights her whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So she would be
overall, I agree. Like she just her personality is so like I feel like women were expected to be like so tame and like not here to ruffle feathers kind of thing. And she wanted to explore and
the fact that she was allowed with like thank goodness maybe for the space that she was in to a certain degree because she was able to dream and like have this whole pursuit and explore all these hobbies and interests that came around her. Whereas maybe if she were in, normal society around that time, as a princess, she probably was really limited to like sitting in a dress all day and like mingling with other women in similar situations.
sure, yeah. But she was just like
She's
outspoken and
clearly a gifted artist.
yeah. Mhm, that
Yeah,
too.
probably gifted in several other ways as well. She names quite a bit.
So, should we talk about who worked on this movie that we love so much?
Before we talk about that, will you tell me what your favorite song from the movie is?
Oh, I don't know. I
I
have
don't
to look.
know.
I don't.
Okay, you think. We'll come back to it.
Okay. So the directors of this film were Nathan Greeno and Byron Howard. Tangled is probably Nathan's biggest production, but he's also a voice actor and voices one of the thugs in the movie.
That's fun.
He knew he wanted to work for Disney since he was only 8 years old, and his career actually started as a cleanup animation artist on Mulan. He had a few other roles with the company before joining Byron Howard to direct Tangled. Byron is also known for directing Zootopia, Encanto, and Bolt. And according to John Lasseter, Greeno and Howard created a movie that can sit on the shelf next to classic Disney animation films while also being an entertaining roller coaster ride for modern audiences. And I feel like that's a really great statement for what they created.
I agree. That is a full description.
Moving on to writers, it was written by Dan Fogelman He's the one that wrote the screenplay. He was also a writer on Life Itself, This Is Us, and is currently writing for the TV series Paradise.
I watched something or listened to something where I heard that this person had also worked on This Is Us. And I was so excited. I was like, okay, he's a Mandy Moore stan.
Have you
I love
watched This
that.
Is Us?
I've watched bits and pieces because Cass, my college roommate, was really into it.
Oh, okay. Moving on to producers, we have Roy Conley, who's also known for producing Big Hero 6 and Treasure Planet. We have Amy Scribner, who produced Frozen and as well as Big Hero 6. We have Glenn Keane, who also produced Beauty and the Beast. He started animation actually and worked on Ariel, Beast, as well as other characters in Aladdin, Pocahontas, and Tarzan.
He's so interesting as a person.
He became a Disney legend in 2013, which is cool.
Well deserved.
Do
He
you
really
have anything else to add
is.
about him?
I'm sorry.
Do you have anything else to add about him?
Not really. I just know that he's worked on so many different films and just like I watched a video about the creation of Tangled and he was featured in it and I was like, this man, he's really in the mix and I'd love to have a conversation about that.
Nice. Lastly, we have John Lasseter, who is a huge name in the Disney company. I'm going to touch on some of the things he's done, but he's literally done so much that it's hard to keep track. He started working as an animator for Disney in 1979 before he was taken on by Lucasfilm. He worked hand in hand with Steve Jobs as they released the first fully computer animated feature, Toy Story, which he won an Oscar for. He was once the CCO of Pixar and Walt Disney Animation Studios, and now he currently oversees Pixar, Disney Animation, and Disney Toon, which I don't know much about that animation studio, but apparently it's a thing. He has, like I said earlier, a really extensive history with Disney. He's worked on so much. He directed A Bug's Life, Toy Story 2, and Cars 1 and 2. He's also executively produced all of Pixar's films since Monsters, Inc. He was also the executive producer for many Walt Disney animated films, including Princess and the Frog, Wreck-It Ralph, and more. And in 2001, he was inducted into the Disney Legends Hall of Fame. Moving on to budget and performance, it's estimated that they had a $260 million budget. On opening weekend, which was November 28th, 2010, for US and Canada, they made over $48 million just opening weekend.
Wow.
Gross for US and Canada is $200,827,936. Gross worldwide is $591,806,17.
So clearly profitable, right? Yeah. Because remind me what the initial one was?
The initial
The
budget,
budget? Yeah.
260 million.
Okay.
So they kind of
Yeah.
made what they invested.
Mm. Okay. So maybe
That's
not
for
a
like
super profitable movie then.
that's like box office. I don't know if that's like including everything that they've made from the movie, like merchandise and, stuff
Mm,
like that.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah,
I,
it's
I
literally just
promise.
box office. So I'm sure they've
Sure.
made well over what they've invested
Yeah. And that
and
was
like
a
probably royalties and stuff like that. So I'm sure it's made way, probably double what it
sure.
made in the box office. But
Typically movies, if their box office numbers are like 3 times what they spent on the movie, that like makes it a success, right? But that doesn't
okay,
mean that's like how things are gauged, but that doesn't mean like that they then lost money on the movie
right.
because you're right. Like, I mean, they've literally licensed the property to Tokyo Disney, so the Oriental Land Company. They also like DVDs were a huge thing at this time. that the movie came out. So they also had DVD sales. There's a lot of factors. So jumping off from there, we can move into representation in the amusement park.
Woohoo!
Yeah, which, she doesn't get a lot. Like, Rapunzel really
No, it's
doesn't.
quite a shame.
It is. I think as a princess, she appears maybe in most. I don't know that much about Shanghai and Hong Kong, and I didn't see her when we were in Paris. But I didn't see a lot of characters, period, in Paris. But Tokyo loves her, which I really appreciated because between all the parks that I've seen her in, I've definitely seen her in Tokyo more than any domestically, even though she does have a presence in Disney World and in Disneyland.
Where does she have a presence in Disneyland? Oh, no,
Oh,
she does. Yeah, she does. Never mind.
yeah.
Are you going to talk about it?
Mhm.
Okay.
So I'll start overseas. In Tokyo Disney Sea, of course, we did just have our 2 Tokyo Disney Resort episodes. So you've heard me talk about this, but in Tokyo Disney Sea, Rapunzel does have a whole attraction and her own little section of a within an entire land. So her ride is Rapunzel's Lantern Festival. You can even spot her from you can spot her in her tower from the queue or just outside the queue area. And her area within Fantasy Springs is called Rapunzel's Forest. So this includes the attraction, but also the Snuggly Duckling, which you can visit for yourself.
I just want it so bad.
Dude, I'm telling you, I wish we would have gone into the Snuggly Duckling. We were there kind of in the morning and having burgers was not the move, but I was looking at their menu right before we started and I was like, man, yeah, they have burgers, but they also like you can have like a burger meal and then you can even like have your burger meal and replace the drink with like their specialty beverage that they have there, which is like Rapunzel's milk tea, or you can get a beer. It's like, oh my God, I could have a beer in the Snuggly Duckling and I didn't do that.
I think you might get a fail for that.
I think I deserve that. We just didn't spend that much time in Fantasy Springs, but I mentally decided to myself earlier earlier when I was doing all the research for this. I'm like, okay, no, I may just have to stay in that Fantasy Springs hotel next time. I have no idea what the cost is.
Oh,
I
we
have no idea what
absolutely
it looks
are.
like. Oh, I think we should. Even though like I heard that's not even not even that it's the best one, but I'm like the fact that we could just like enter and exit from Fantasy Springs. And like that's an area that I felt like we explored, but also I feel like we didn't, which is crazy because we spent a good amount of time there. Like, that may need to be the move. But just the whole attraction itself was absolutely beautiful. Of course, I already talked about it, but I just have to highlight how much it is. Like it's a boat ride. So, you're entering and you seeing her from her tower. You're seeing Flynn hiding with with the tiara. He's ready to escape into the tower. Maximus is like on the prowl. But then you move in, you see that Rapunzel is so excited about her best day ever because she is free for the first time. Then you see her healing Flynn, and you get to move into the Lantern Festival itself, and you see them singing with each other in the most gorgeous scenery before exiting through, beautiful paintings of each other. It's a very short attraction, but also gorgeous. And you have, parts of the soundtrack all throughout the queue as well.
I, excuse me, I love that they did a story retelling.
Hmm.
I don't like when Disney makes an attraction and it's like, this is what happens after, you know,
Right.
Tiana turns back into a person. Like, I don't like that they did that. I feel like I would have liked the story better if it had been a retelling of Tiana. And That's something that I'm noticing in other parks. They do well and they do more of is retelling of the original story. And I wish that we did that more in the US parks because, like, it doesn't even always make sense because you don't know the story that they're trying to tell you, you know?
Right. Yeah, like there's no like if you're gonna give us IP, like just give us straight
Give us the
IP.
IP. The IP.
Like you
Like, don't make it something else.
well it's weird, especially because like okay, if you're gonna like do storytelling through the queue, like of course we love that. But like if you have Lightning Lane, you don't get the whole queue and like how are we gonna assume things or like piece things together over time? And like I maybe hot take, but I feel like probably not. IP storytelling is like not very good. Like Haunted Mansion storytelling is one thing because you're just kind of like in a vibe and like picking things up like as you go and like throughout your enjoyment of it, along with like pirates too, like maybe, but those things kind of have like a vague story. Whereas like when you have existing IP. Okay, so that about wraps up Tokyo Disney Sea, but over here in Florida at Disney World, at the Magic Kingdom specifically, Rapunzel has even her own tower that you can visit, kind of, because it is like an optical illusion or forced perspective. But you can see that tower. My jaw dropped. I was like, "Oh my gosh, we're here!" The first time I seen it. I don't know how excited you felt, but I was like, "What the heck? This is so cool."
I just wish it was bigger.
Me too, dude. And that was like, I wonder how it would feel going back now, seeing the big one in Tokyo, because I was like, they did it. Why don't we need this. We know this isn't no, I mean, they probably do use forced perspective to a certain degree, but was satisfied with the height.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's also a really great like photo op.
Hmm.
I got a few cute pictures of Megan in front of it in her Rapunzel outfit.
Ooh. Maybe we'll post those. I love it. I think even though it's some people think it doesn't look good, I was thoroughly convinced. I thought it looked fine. Maybe different with my adult skeptic eyes, but I'm not trying to be skeptical when I'm at the Magic Kingdom. I'm trying to be immersed in the magic.
Magical.
Exactly. So, of course, you can't walk up to this photo spot, but like you can get a good one stated by Shy. And this is right between the Haunted Mansion and Small World, just before the Tangled restrooms. So there's even a whole themed restroom area. People get married there and take their wedding photos. So it's cute, but it is a bathroom and also character dining. When you eat at Cinderella's royal table, right? That's what it's called? Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah, when you eat at Cinderella's royal table, Rapunzel is one of the princesses that you get to meet, which we also
And
did.
we did that and she was so cute.
She was so cute. She was so good.
She was really great.
All the princesses were so awesome. Like, that was such a fun experience. I'm so glad we did it.
Truthfully.
But, very minimal representation, but at least there is some semblance of a tower, and she is running with her princess crew.
Yes. Squad deep.
Disneyland is kind of an honorable mention because there is a Tangled show.
There's a Tangled show.
Hmm. And
There's a little courtyard.
yes. Yep. So there's like even a smaller tower
Yes.
for you to see, which is right next to where the show is, right next to Maurice's Treats on if you're looking at the castle, it's on the left-hand side. There is like a little walkway there that leads you into Frontierland as well, right next to Rancho del Zocalo. And there's some posters of Flynn Rider, all the like little botched ones where his nose is not perfect. And I mean, I've met Rapunzel at Disneyland. Have you?
I don't know if I've met her. I think I've seen her.
Okay. Yeah, I guess met was maybe an exaggeration because I often get shy.
Mm.
I feel like I I have, but also I don't know. I get nervous and I am like, hee hee hee, and I run in the opposite direction. I'm like, go talk to little kids. I feel put on the spot, and you're doing such a good job.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Go do a good job with them.
I feel like she's always on the move.
Yeah, especially if she's with Flynn, they're usually like trying to shuffle around people, trying to, or like nestle into a corner so that they can be approached organically. It's pretty cute.
Yeah, but we do see her from time to time.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like she has a lot of representation in other parks, but I do believe she still appears in them. But I just can't speak to that experience.
So that just about wraps up everything that we have for Rapunzel and her story. But if you've been listening since the beginning, you know we have a little surprise for you at the end of this episode. We are going to be bringing to you the Princess Power Scale of Damsel in Distress or Royal Hall of Fame.
Okay, so we have a few different categories that we're going to go through and rate the princesses on a scale of 1 to 10 during their episode. So we already did Snow White, but we did not have the scale then. So that will be something probably we revisit at another time. But since we're here with Rapunzel, we'll be going through their animal connection, romantic, ooh,
Romantic.
romantic, romantic chemistry, adventurous spirit, relatability, and then their legacy. So, again, each of these we're going to go through, we're going to talk about them, rate them from 1 to 10, and then take the average of the scores. And then we'll see if they're a damsel in distress or if they get above a 6, they'll be one of our MVPs. So, our most valued princesses that end up in the Royal Hall of Fame.
I hope you guys are excited to do this with us. You'll have to let us know what you think about our personal ratings and what your ratings are too.
Yes, we would love the feedback. Love the feedback of you telling us what your scores are, like Shai said. But also, if you are like, is this how this should be done? What does this mean? Like, we're going to talk about it, but also, this is our first time. So, we're open to feedback for sure.
Definitely. Megan, do you want to start us off with number one, animal connection? And what does that mean?
Okay. So, I'm thinking animal connection, like, literally, how much contact does this princess like have with an animal? Like, of course, so many of these how in tune they are with their animal friends or sidekicks within their story.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And of course, we'll probably have our own little both our little interpretations or like how we're going to go about this. So, we'll see. I would give Rapunzel I would give her a 6 for this because she has Pascal, which like to have a lizard up in a tower, like okay, clearly he was drawn to you or something, like maybe he was brought to her, we don't really know, but he clearly is very dedicated to her. They have a tight bond, but also she was able to gain Maximus's trust and loyalty pretty immediately. So I feel like that's pretty good. We don't see any other animals in this movie from what I can remember. So, I mean, that seems like a pretty good track record and probably safe to assume that she would do well with others.
Yes, I think I agree with you. I think I'm also going to give her a 6 for Animal Connection for the same reasons. I really do love her playful relationship with Pascal. And just like you said, we're able to see her build that relationship with a little hesitant Maximus. Um, but we don't really see her interact with any other animals throughout the film. So I wouldn't say she, and to no fault of her own, she lived in a tower her whole life. But
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that she, is like uh, one of our like super animal lover princesses. Like, but I do feel like a 6 is a fair score for her. So that's going to be mine too.
amazing. So, do you want to walk us through romantic connect chemistry then?
Yes. So romantic chemistry is like what is their relationship like with their significant other in the movie if they have a significant other in the movie or their story. I'm gonna give them a 9 out of 10. I
I was thinking the same thing.
I love their chemistry. I love their story. I feel like we've all known a Flint rider in our lives, I feel like. And at least I have known, I feel
I
like
would
maybe
love to
quite
know who
a
this is
few
too.
Flint riders.
Okay.
Kind of like the bad boy that ends up turning into
Bad
a
boy
good
with a heart of gold.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
um, so I'm gonna give them a 9 out of 10.
I 100% agree. I think they balance each other out very well, and I think that speaks to enough. Like clearly, they have chemistry. They have chemistry right off the bat. Even
Yeah.
when they're both skeptical of each other, they're still both able to negotiate and fulfill each other's needs like right off the bat. Like even neither of them betray each other, they save each other. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's a really good give and take between the two of them. And I feel like they have very, very quick chemistry.
What do you think about her adventurous spirit?
Oh, I mean, she is only dreaming about not being in a tower anymore. I feel like it is very fair to say that she is ready and ripe for adventure. I think she has she's very goal driven, like she has a mission and like somewhere to go. So maybe like if she was in different circumstances, maybe she wouldn't have been as adventurous, but also like I mean, she's very much a book reader, even if she's not going to be adventurous like in practice, even though that's what we've seen. Like maybe she was always adventurous in spirit. I would also give her a 9.
Okay. I totally resonate with what you were saying, but I'm going to give her an 8
Okay.
just for the sole fact that she does have some hesitation, right? Like we see her going back and forth between this is the best idea I've ever had. This is the worst day of my life. I don't know if I should be doing this. Like, she definitely, it's one of the most like entertaining scenes in the
Yes.
movie, I feel like, is her going back and forth with that internal battle. So for that, I'm going to give her an 8. But overall, like, she definitely is probably one of our most adventurous princesses. Like she at the end of the day, even though she does go back and forth, decides to risk it all and go on this adventure with Flynn.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I can't believe I've done this. I can't believe I've done this.
Yes.
Like just that super conflict. That's super fair. I did think about 8, but I was like she only dreams about being outside of her like what would be her comfort zone. So
Yeah,
it's hard to say what a 10 would be, but I guess we may come to that.
we may.
Okay. Then relatability, I'll push that to you.
Relatability. So, I feel like it is pretty self-explanatory, but how do we feel like we relate to this princess individually, right? I think I'm gonna give a 6 out of 10 for relatability.
Interesting. I'm curious to hear your thought process.
So I feel like obviously, like hopefully, none of us have been locked up in a
Oh my
tower.
god.
for-
I don't know. Do you remember that one summer I was really grounded forever? Unfortunately, I lived in a one-story house.
yeah, yeah. Um, and also like I was not taken from my parents at birth, who were like the king and queen of a nation, and I don't have magical long luscious beautiful hair that heals
Arguable.
people.
Oh, okay. You are a nurse though with long beautiful hair.
Thank you.
It just doesn't have powers. That's your mind.
She is relatable in the fact that I think a lot of people have this desire to break out from their day-to-day lives and the normalcy in that, and in wanting to, especially like when you turn 18, like wanting to leave home and explore. So I do think she does have the aspects to her personality and her thought process that are relatable. That conflict we talked about earlier of going back and forth, and I feel like that's something that we've all struggled with before. And then, going on new adventures, hopefully, like, we can be there's some relatability to that, but yeah, so I'm gonna give her a 6 out of 10.
I'm like clearly showing my bias because I feel like I'm only giving her the highest scores, but I'm like, I feel like an 8 out of 10 for her. That's like, I mean, that's totally my own bias because I too have way too many hobbies to be able to do in a day. Like, all I want to do is be locked in a tower and interact with all my hobbies. And like, obviously, that's not what she wants, but that is the life she lives. And man, I would love sometime to just, darts, baking, maybe not darts, but a bit of crochet, ballet, and chess. Again, no chess, but those other things, like I would love that. Also, like parental conflict of control and needing to break out as soon as you're 18, like very, very much my life personally. And genuinely, like meeting someone unexpectedly and just ended up loving them forever. Yeah, those things all feel very relatable to me, but I've never been like hunted down for any reason by a family member or otherwise. I know who my parents are, but just like looking at the little things of like the littler things, I feel like that very much resonates with me. Do you think that score is fair, or like we are trying to kind of figure out what this scale looks like for us? So, what do you think?
I think that the whole point of us doing this is to hopefully have some different numbers.
Yeah,
That makes
I
it
would think
fun.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, we're trying to orient ourselves too. So I hope we're all able to give each other lots of grace.
Yes. Do you want to are
Our
we already on the
finale,
last one? Oh my
we
gosh.
are. Yeah.
Can
Are
you
you writing this down? Because I
our
didn't.
scores? Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Um, so our last scale is their legacy. So Rapunzel's legacy. This, when we say legacy, it's a bit of a broad spectrum. We
Hmm.
are kind of want to take into consideration the amount of sequels, whether it's a movie or a television series, their park presence, their merch, if you're able to find it or not, and their meetability. Is this someone that you can potentially like go and take a picture with at a park? Or is this someone that you can't really, or is really hard to find?
Hmm. Meetability. I love it.
How would you rate Rapunzel's legacy, Megan?
I I'm torn between a 5 and a 6.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I do think that she's a very beloved princess. She did have a short-lived series, but there's one attraction in one park that only is very short. I fear she will fade out. I think that I don't want her to, but and I feel like there are other princesses that we could say similar things about, but pretty much my thought is that there already isn't very much representation in the movie came out what 15 years ago now, 14 years ago, and our
15 years ago.
15 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2010.
Uh-huh. And like we haven't seen any growth with it. If anything, probably a little bit when they added it to Disney Springs and then kind of like a plateau, but also Disney isn't doing a lot of princesses right now. I don't know, it's hard to say cuz I feel like it's strong for what it is, but it's not something I don't know. Also that's hard cuz now I'm thinking of parades like, she is in, like, every parade. So maybe, like, 7. Like I don't think she's like a princess that they're ever gonna like expand on to any degree, and I don't necessarily think that she needs that. Honestly, I think of any of them she would be more interesting, but it does seem like they closed her story pretty easily. I honestly haven't watched the series. I've heard good things about it, but I haven't watched it, so it is hard for me to speak to that. But I don't know, I would be curious to see how her legacy changes over time. And I guess I am hopeful for it. So I'll say a 7.
Okay, I was going back and forth between like an 8 and a 9.
Oh, wow. Okay. So incredibly different than what I was thinking.
Yes. Just because like she has that series that
Uh-huh.
came out. It's got 3 seasons.
Oh,
And
does it?
yeah, it's got 3 seasons. It ran from 2017 through 2019, and there's like over 20 episodes in each season.
Okay. I thought it ran for 2.
No,
Okay.
it ran for 3. There's also like other random little episodes outside of this series that she has that came out. Like one came out in 2012, and a few others
Mhm.
came out in 2017. She does
Oh.
have she does have like a bit of a digital legacy, I would say.
Huh.
And I definitely feel her park presence in Fantasyland, in the parades, like you said, in Magic Kingdom. I only have the two parks in the US that I've experienced, but I feel like there's so there's not an abundance of her merch, but I feel like it's pretty easy to find Rapunzel merch. They've got the ears, they've got so many different lounge flies that I've seen. There's t-shirts. I feel like finding her merch is like it's not an abundance for sure, but it's easy enough to find. Really easy to meet her in Magic Kingdom if you dine with the princesses. You can also dine with the princesses at the Grand Californian, which is
Oh.
an experience we've never done, but I'm pretty sure you can meet her there. If anyone's done this and knows what I'm talking about, can you let me know if she is there or not for sure? Because that is a very expensive experience that I don't plan on doing anytime soon.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it's like I think over $100 a person.
Wow.
I think I'm gonna give her an 8 for her
Okay.
legacy. I feel like she's got it's I unfortunately, as much as I want to disagree and be like, "No, like, maybe" like, I feel like they're gonna do, like, a live action. Never mind.
I mean, it will probably happen eventually, but they've already said it's not in development or anything.
Mm,
Yeah. Which, like, considering how the last Disney movie that they did went, like, probably for the best.
really?
Like, everyone should take, like, a whole seat and, like, hold their horses and whatever.
Damn, alright.
Yeah. They've done better, is all I'm saying. Why do bad when you can do good?
I'm gonna add up our scores.
Maybe entered our Hall of Fame, but I'd love to hear the for sure ruling.
Okay, are you ready for this? For our very first Princess Power Scale of Damsel in Distress or Royal Hall of Fame, is Rapunzel going to be one of our most valuable princesses? Coming in hot with a score of 7.6.
Oh,
Rapunzel is one of our princesses, our
woo!
MVP.
Starting off strong.
Our first MVP is Rapunzel. Well
Yay!
deserved. Well deserved.
Truly well deserved.
And not as cut dry as I thought it was going to be. I thought she was going to be like an easy win.
Yeah, like this isn't just like our feelings, it is like our developed opinion.
Yes, because if you had to ask us, Rapunzel is a 10 out of 10 princess,
Uh-huh, yes.
for sure.
So before we finish out, like of course that was the bulk of the content, but we're never going to leave you with like not some fun facts. Like please, you think I can pass up a trivia opportunity? I mean, we're not doing a quiz or anything, but I do want to, line your pockets with some, you know, facts in case you need them while you're at a Disney park or you need to toss them out at a party. You need some talking points.
Yes.
I got you.
Yes.
So, Shai walked us through the original story. I walked us through the Disney story. However, Walt started developing a story for Rapunzel in the 1940s.
Oh.
Yeah, so this was a long time coming. The fact that Disney didn't make this into a movie until the 2010s says a lot. It was very much something that Walt had dreamed of and was something that was a part of the Disney company long before it came to fruition. Though Rapunzel was created by a majority male staff, the women that were part of the staff had a huge say in the development of the story and the entire creation of the animated film. Which, like, for the time, of course, we're just talking about the 2010s, but that disparity was very real then and is, I would imagine, still real today. So it is notable. And I feel like that really shows in who Rapunzel was developed as a person, like pretty fully fledged out, like very much with a very strong personality and with a lot of her interests. Like we really get to learn quite a bit about her. Rapunzel and Gothel were purposefully styled to look incredibly different from one another. So though they're supposed to be mother and daughter, Mother Gothel very purposefully has dark curly hair, is pretty like petite, where Rapunzel is tall, has long, straight blonde hair, of course, until she cuts it, and then we see that it's light brown. So she got that blonde from the magical elements, but still, like clearly their appearances are very different. That was very purposeful. Of course, how they dress as well. Mother Gothel in the darker colors, Rapunzel in the more pastels. Pascal was based on a real chameleon.
Really?
Yeah. One of the animators owned a chameleon, and while they were working on the film, they used them as kind of like the model for that character. And then,
No.
yeah, pretty cool. And then that person was then credited as a chameleon wrangler on the film. So it just goes to show you if you have like a niche talent or opportunity and you're working on films or you're curious to, like, you could develop a whole opportunity for yourself just by, playing into that niche. Okay, this is my one piece of trivia that I'm going to ask you.
Okay. I'm ready.
There were tens of thousands of lanterns animated for this film. Guess the actual number. Tens of thousands
Like that they drew?
that they animated for the film.
Okay, 50,000.
50,000? Very close. It was 45,000.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's
you were
right
super
there.
close. You were right there, girl. But yeah, so 45,000, is that what I said? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 45,000 lanterns were animated for this film in total. So, a lot. And finally, Tangled has also been credited as the biggest crowd scene in any Disney movie, at least at the time it was created. The Hunchback of Notre Dame was the previous record holder.
Hmm.
So hard to say now, but at least when the movie was created, that's was the fact. I thought that was really interesting and fun. I would be curious if something has surpassed it at this point. The only other thing I can really think of would be a Pixar film. So I'm curious if they're separating the two. But those are my fun facts.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you so much for listening. We post new content every Saturday, so please follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you listen so you never miss an episode.
And don't forget to review and rate us 5 stars, share it with your friends, and subscribe to at Magical Happy Hour Podcast on Instagram. Megan, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Megan Creedon and also on TikTok. You can find that link on my Instagram. Shy, what about you?
You can find me on Instagram and on TikTok at Disney Obsessed Nurse. And if you're interested in having a professional travel agent that specializes in Disney and Universal Studios, plan your next vacation, you can find the link to my website in our podcast note or email me at Cheyenne@vincentvacations.com. We'll see you guys next week.
Cheers!
Cheers!